Hello there. How's it going?
Man, it's another wonderful day in the neighborhood, Zach.
Yes, it is, Mr. Rogers.
Yep, it is a beautiful day. Today is October 25th, 2022. He's Zach, I'm Mr. 411. We are the Sports Brothers. Today, we're going to talk about NFL. Obviously, we're going to get into week 7, and there's a lot of things happening in there. We even dive into Tom Brady and some of the comments he made, and we'll discuss that a little bit. And man, what's going on in Green Bay? So we got some NFL to talk about, and we'll bring in our NBA analyst today, Rod, and he will help us recap the first week of the NBA season. Sounds
Sounds
like fun,
good.
Zach.
Yes, it does.
All right. Well, you already know, man. Are you ready?
Yes, I am, Pastor Troy.
Yes, sir. Sports Brothers.
And you already know.
That's it. Welcome to the show. Zach and 411 in the building. All right. Please do the following.
Yep, your favorite part of the show still. And it's been like a year plus. Still love it.
Hey, man. It's like Floyd Mayweather and still, you know what I'm saying? And still champion.
So
And
true.
still the favorite part of the show. All right, Zach. NFL, man, week 7. What an amazing week. And man, we had some surprising things, man. And I'll just throw something out there just to kind of get it going. But Matt Ryan, man, he's no longer the starter in Indianapolis. Just after having a good game the week prior.
Yeah. Uh Shocking. Thought he would be better for them than what he has been. But uh this is what is it? Father time, undefeated.
Yep.
It comes to get them all, and we're starting to see this with a few of the older quarterbacks. I think part of it may be that I know the rule changes in the NFL have allowed quarterbacks to flourish. They don't get hit as much. But what happens, and it's been a while with these rule changes, defenses have had the opportunity. They've had multiple seasons now to adjust to those rule changes, so they can go back to kind of playing defense full tilt and hit receivers, hit quarterbacks. Maybe quarterbacks now that advantage they had with all the freedom of movement, kind of I guess using a basketball term, that's going away, and they're getting hit more. There might be another adjustment as they're trying to stop all these of what roughing the passer things, but defenses have definitely caught up to the offenses. Like you're not seeing all them Tecmo Bowl scores anymore, or not as often.
All right. Well, get some of the scores up here on the board. And as you can see here, man, Cincinnati. Joe Burrow was on fire.
Yes,
5
he was.
touchdowns. Just pretty much destroyed the Falcons. Falcons made it interesting a little bit as far as the score, but pretty much that was controlled by Cincinnati. They seem to be a team that's on the roll. Seem like they're hitting their groove, and we'll see where everything goes from there. The Raiders, no surprise there, and they got a victory that they need to get right there. We talked about Peyton Manning. I mean, not Peyton Manning. I'm thinking Colts. Matt Ryan.
Yes.
Sorry, Peyton Manning, but Matt Ryan, and you see how they fell to Tennessee. And so we'll go backwards here and just touch on the Ravens, man. Close victory here over the Browns, who are still waiting for Deshaun Watson to return. And again, it seems like the Ravens, man, they're just kind of like a team. They're winning just enough games so that you can't, you know, ostracize them. But something's funny going on over there in Baltimore. What do you think about Baltimore?
I'm not sure anything is funny as much as outside of Lamar Jackson, who are their elite players? Like, name somebody that's an elite player. They they don't have talent that just stands out like that. So I think they're playing like a team that is doesn't have that type of talent. Uh, they get the big leads, give them up, and they've lost some games to more talented teams. Unfortunately, like the scores didn't go how you would want them to go with them having the big leagues, but they need to, like, their receivers, Duvernay and then Bateman. Like, they're not household names. I'm sorry. The other household name would be Mark Andrews, and that's about it. And I know you got a lot invested in the Ravens, but you tell me, their DB, like, they're supposed to have some corners that are pretty good. They ain't. Uh, their pass rush isn't an elite pass rush, and their linebackers, even if you do have elite linebackers in the NFL, if they're not pass rusher, who cares? Because having a great middle linebacker doesn't mean much now. So I just think they have to get more talent in, and the results we're seeing are coming from that.
Yeah, because it's just a lot of victories or defeats that are just like it's kind of head scratching right now. It's like they're pretty solid, but just it doesn't seem like they're going to run away in either direction. And that when you have the Bills in your conference, you know what I mean. And now Cincinnati is surging, and they look pretty good, especially on the offense end. Cincinnati looks like they're really cooking now. Just got a little worries there. Sunday night, the Dolphins. All right, they defeated the Steelers, and man, Pittsburgh is look like they're trending downward. Man, what's your thoughts on Pittsburgh and what direction you think they're going to go the rest of the season?
Same thing. They don't have any talent. Who's their who are their great players? I think the TJ Watt is out. Mika Fitzpatrick. Uh, who's the other lineman? Rob is gonna get mad at me that I don't know their other lineman's name. They got the other defensive lineman that's pretty good. Uh, and I'd say they probably have some more individuals sprinkled on the defense. Offensive line, I don't think is that great. Najee Harris, as much as I liked him in Alabama, he just looks like a guy. Their wide receivers are okay, I guess, if you want to say that. Orion loves George Pickens. Um, and what else? The quarterback, they went to a rookie quarterback that came out of Pittsburgh. Like, they're doing about what they should be doing. Fighting for the 1 seed. Or I should say the number 1 draft position.
Well, yeah, that's the direction they're heading.
They're doing what Seattle thought that they would be doing.
Yeah,
And this isn't, as you love to say, this ain't college. Like, this ain't Georgia and you get 10 cupcakes on your schedule, Alabama, and you go in and you recruited more talent. This is the NFL. It's talent all over. And unless it's at the quarterback position, most of the teams are probably going to be pretty even. So you need to have those guys that stick out. And just think about some of, like you were talking about Cincinnati. Jamar Chase was killing the Falcons. And that ain't even to include, look, then you bring up the dude, I think that's the third guy for them, Boyd.
Yeah, Boyd.
Along with T. Higgins. Like, so not only do I got to worry about Chase, I game plan for Chase. Now I got to worry about Boyd. Now I got to worry about T. Higgins. Oh, I got to worry about Joe Mixon. That's what the two teams we just talked about. If you want to go Baltimore and you want to go Pittsburgh, who you worried about on their team?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this might be where Mike Tomlin needs to make a break from the Steelers. He probably won't do that, but it might be a good breaking point for both parties, because I think the Steelers are going to be looking for a quarterback. And as long as they're looking for a quarterback, we may be talking about this with them for next few years.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Seattle a minute ago too, and man, another victory. They continue to surprise, and man, they took out your Chargers, and I say that lightly because I know you love that quarterback Herbert over there.
Yep.
But
he won again.
The Chargers, man, losing to the Seahawks. I mean, you giving the Seahawks life here, 4-3, leading the division. That before the season started, all the experts, including us, were thinking that this division was going to be, the toughest one of them all. But man, Seattle's up 4-3, quality victory. I like what I saw from the running game. Kenneth Walker the third.
You think?
Yes, he looks like an excellent signing there, and I mean draft pick there. And so, man, the pieces are looking good. Again, Seattle giving up points, but hey, putting points on the board, which is like, man, that's a major shot. And so,
it,
gotta
it,
gotta give him credit, man.
it's a shock, but the only reason why it's a shock is because it's Geno Smith as the quarterback. If Russell Wilson was still there and they were doing this, no one would be shocked by it, because we'll go back to when they talked about Russell Wilson going to Denver. And I just, for the life of me, and I want to say we mentioned it a few times, they kept talking about how great these Denver weapons are. And I was like, damn, they're better than Metcalf and man, I always forget my
Lockett, Tyler Lockett.
Yes, Lockett. Yeah, like better than Metcalf and Lockett. And now I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think much of Rashard Penny. I kind of thought he was, average back or whatever. But still, he couldn't have been no worse than them damn Denver backs. But now you got Penny, add in Walker out of Michigan State, who was one of the top backs in the college football last year. They drafted 2 offensive tackles, which I think people, Calvin will be happy about this, because he talked about it in the draft. Like, nobody thought it was sexy picks, but you go get you 2 big bodies to go out there and block. They have a competent offense now, and Geno is. This is a credit to Seattle. I'm not sure they finished with a winning record, because
Right.
They're going to have some more games that test them, but they should win 7 or 8 ball games easily. And there's no reason, especially they get Penny back. I don't know what the deal is with Metcalf right now, but they could win the division.
Yeah.
Like after watching the 49ers against the Chiefs and the Rams all season, they could win the division. And does Seattle maybe not have the best skill players if Walker's going to keep playing like this?
Well, we're going to see. And speaking of the 49ers, right, they signed McCaffrey. And by the way, Metcalf, he'll be out a couple weeks, but Goodwin looks like he can fill in that role for a while. Goodwin looked good on Sunday as well at receiver. But yes, McCaffrey is over in San Francisco now, playing where his dad used to play at one point in time too. But still, he came in, they had a package of plays for him, but they fell short to the Chiefs, which is definitely no slouch of a team. But man, what do you think about that? Because you mentioned that the division is the NFC West could be open. And do you think that McCaffrey, do you think he's going to, catapult the 49ers to the top of this division?
I'm not sure what it'll do for them this year, but he's a good pickup, because that system isn't really running back based. And when I say not running back based, that they just kind of take that, like Denver back in the day, that you just take kind of any back with that zone blocking scheme they had, and they get 1,000 yards. Then you get a Terrell Davis that's an elite back, and now you really start seeing numbers. So McCaffrey should be very good in this offense when you combine him with Debo, and he'll help Jimmy Garoppolo out, which is what I think you need to do for your quarterback. Like you need to make it balanced. If you got a great quarterback, and we'll talk about some, then you can have, average talent. You got great talent, you can get away with an average quarterback. That's probably what San Francisco was trying to do. So good pickup. We'll see. I think history has shown us that McCaffrey gets injured. So let's see how it plays out. But it was a good trade by them. They needed to do this. Even if it's not a Garoppolo next year and it's back to being Trey Lance could use McCaffrey, and he probably can zone read or whatever other little tricks that Shanahan has up his sleeve will probably work well with McCaffrey.
Yeah. All right. That's Tampa Bay. So man, look at the game and how this game went with Tampa Bay and Carolina. Carolina did get the win, which we'll definitely touch more on Tampa Bay about that in a minute. But look at all those punts. I mean, you got one touchdown, two touchdowns in there, but for the most part, look at Tampa Bay's offense, man, is really struggling. And we're just going to touch on that for just a quick second. Just throw that out there because when we spin it back around, we're going to go into more detail about Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. A couple more scores here on the board, as you can see. The Cowboys. All right, let's talk about America's team for a second. Dak Prescott returned against the Detroit Lions. 24-6 was the final score. From what I saw in this game, that 24-6 was not indicative of the game. But well, A, did you get a chance to analyze this one? And B, what did you see?
The Cowboys didn't learn anything by having Dak out. They get Dak back, and either the head coach or the offensive coordinator is trying to do all of this damn throwing with everything when you just saw what the blueprint is: control passing game, run the ball, let the defense keep you in the game and or go win you the game. Uh, Defense is lights out. Like Philadelphia should feel even better today than they did a week ago because this Dallas defense has brought it every damn game, and they will probably continue to bring it as long as they stay healthy. You don't need your quarterback screwing this up. Dak Prescott, you were correct. The score was not indicative of what this game was like. Dak Prescott he kept Detroit in the game, made this game tougher than what it needs to be, and just take the ball out of his damn hands. Let him throw it 20 times or less. I'm sorry, 20 or less pass attempts, and go from there, like you did with Cooper Rush.
Yeah. And basically, I mean, a lot of people may not want to hear that, man, but yeah, and I'll say this too. This was a good game for that to come back too, because you can obviously as it being a home game in Detroit, as far as their ranking of defense, this is an opportunity where you can get away with a couple things and still get something in the win column. You definitely want to come back against a stiffer opponent. And so, with that said, I think that was a good move by Dallas to bring him back now. But yes, they look more like a ball control type of team to me. Ball control
Yes.
and defense, and
And
I think that's their winning formula.
yeah, and no shame in that. You just want to win a championship, like Jalen Hurts, and people talk about what has he got, 6 passing touchdowns or something. Uh, they not out there trying to have Jalen Hurts throw the ball 40, 50 times. They just want to get the W, however they got to get it. If he has to throw it 30 times, I'm sure they don't mind that. But if they can go out there and run the ball 40, 50 times, I'm sure the Eagles are fine with that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, yeah, man. So that's the thing with Dallas. So we'll see how they continue to matriculate through the season and see if they keep up with those Eagles that are flying high and those Giants that are getting it done as well. Again, victories there for the New York teams. Unfortunately, there was an injury to Brees Hall and an offensive lineman for the Jets.
Yes, unfortunately about Brees Hall.
Yes, because he was definitely tearing things up. It looks like that might have been a piece to catapult them. But we'll see how they make up for it. There was a trade between the Jets and the Jags to get Robinson,
Which
who
I'm
who
shocked the
was
Jags did that. Like,
you know what that means though. That means Travis Etienne is now going to be the man down there, and I guess they feel
mm,
good about that.
yep.
But it's
We're gonna
better to
see how
have
that
depth,
goes.
in my
I
opinion.
I I would have probably stuck with the 1-2 punch at running back. But I think he was on the last year of his contract, so they're just trying to get some draft compensation, and his value probably wasn't going to be higher than what it would be right now at this injury. But we will look. We'll we'll be at the quarter pole in a couple weeks. Let's see what ETN is doing.
Well, he better stay healthy because I need him personally. All right.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's hope he stays healthy.
All right. We're talking about games here. But tune in Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. for After the Game, where you can listen to Lacey Dawson, the Williams sisters, as they talk about the sports world on and off the field. Zach,
Yes, sir.
Green Bay Packers, man, what is going on over in Green Bay? The Commanders took command of this game, and they won 23-21 over the Packers. Aaron Rodgers has a lot of things to say about the mental aspect of his team. And man, look at this guy. He is gas. Green Bay is I mean, they're falling apart, man. They're not getting things done. And at first, it's like, okay, they lost a game here. All right, they're about another loss, and now, man, you have to beat the Commanders, and then you lose that one. So, what have you analyzed as far as what the Packers and their state right now?
Well, this is the first question I would ask, and this is kind of like the LeBron question. Uh, does it matter if the Lakers don't make the playoffs if LeBron doesn't win a championship? Because he's only judged on championships anyway. So does it matter how the Packers end up if they don't win a Super Bowl this year? Or we'll go in his case, at least make it to the Super Bowl? Because since they've won that one Super Bowl that he won, the season ends in disappointment for the Packers because for whatever reason they don't perform. Bakhtiari and the insanity thing is we talk about dudes that be injured. It's always these dudes that be injured. Just like look at the Cowboys with their left tackle that is out, and they drafted a guy to come in, but they get hurt, and you expect these dudes that continuously get injured to play. But Bakhtiari out on the offensive line. You let your wide receivers go. Lazard was supposed to be your number one. This I know because he's on my fantasy team. And he's been injured since game one. He's been injured. And what do we talk about? That when you start shifting roles, you said this kind about Klay Thompson of why he got hurt. When guys all of a sudden you got to defend and score, now you get more usage at that wear and tear you're not used to. Maybe that causes an injury. Lazard, you're going to be the one. He can't even make it halfway through the damn season of being a one because of injury. So they just have a lot of stuff going on. But probably the main thing, it's a old couple that's been married for a while. They should have ended this with Aaron Rodgers, definitely after last year when they had that disappointment. But what did they do? They ran it back, and doesn't it look like Aaron Rodgers is just disinterested? And here goes the thing too. If they don't win another Super Bowl or make another Super Bowl, it doesn't hurt Aaron Rodgers' legacy because he has a Super Bowl. Like this ain't like Dan Marino without a Super Bowl that he needs that as the cherry on top. Aaron Rodgers is good. They gave him his 50 plus million for the next 2-3 years. But what does he have? Like, and he can blame it on everybody else. They need a divorce. If you could trade him now, I would say trade him now. Of course, they're not going to do that, but he's a disgruntled employee or whatever you want to call him, and they just need to end this.
All right. Well, looks like we're gonna run into a commercial break. We'll come back in on the other side of that break with Rod with the NBA Week 1 review.
Sounds
And
good.
then we'll come back and talk about the Tom Brady comments, the comments that he made about the military. And I know you being a person that served our country, and we thank you for that. It'll be interesting to hear what you have to say about that. So everybody hang on because we got to find out what someone who served our country has to say about what Tom Brady said, and we'll go from there. But when we come back on the other side here, be ready because our NBA analyst is here and in the building, and his name is Rod. We'll see you all in just a second.
Hi, I'm Latanya. I'm the owner of Heavily Spa Mobile. I've been in this business 19 years plus. If you're in dire need of a massage for achy muscles, back, neck, shoulder, hip, legs, feet, come on down and schedule an appointment with me. You can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking care of you because no one's going to be able to take care of you. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, and that's in Building 8, and that's in Macon, Georgia. Again, You can go online to Heavenly Spot Mobile to schedule your future appointment, or you can reach out to me at 478-747-9231. I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, Latanya. Thank you.
All right. Every Spot Mobile supports the Sports Brothers and everything in between. All right. In the building, as you can see, none other than our NBA analyst, Rod. What's happening, Rod?
What's happening, fellas? What's happening?
Not much.
Man, good to have you back, man. You know, we did our top 5, and now you're back in the building.
Yeah, man. I was definitely wrong about one. Looking like, man, it ain't going too sweet for the Sixers. The Sixers
I'm not even going
suspect.
See, I'm not even gonna do that to you. You know, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So they could go on a 15, 20 game win streak. So we gotta.
They did come out the gate playing some high quality opponents. So I'll take that into consideration. And Embiid and Harden still have to find some chemistry there. And so but
okay.
Sarah.
Well, what's your early thoughts on the Sixers and their bench?
They have no bench. I mean, they gotta, really. I think they. Let me rephrase that. They have a bench, but it's a bench where it's not a bench that will carry you or extend leads. It's a bench that supplements the starters. So you got to mix and match in guys off that bench and keep a starter on the floor, and they can play off them. Like, they have some quality guys off the bench. I'm not gonna say they're just trash, but you gotta blend them in. And I think that really with the starting lineup, I see the biggest thing that Doc Rivers needs to adjust is I actually want to see the ball in Maxey hands a little more and get James Harden off the ball, get him moving without the ball. And then that way, when James Harden gets the ball, he knows to be James Harden and go score, versus he dribbles so much that by the time he gets into the play, and create for other people, shot clock's running down and guys get demoralized. They feel like, I don't think James Harden's doing it from a selfish standpoint. I just think that's just the way he plays. And I think if you would allow Maxey to really run the show and be the point guard, I think you will see that pace pick up that Doc Rivers is looking for. He's looking for them to pick up the pace, but in trying to do that, you end up with James Harden over dribbling. So,
okay, what about the early start of the Jazz, man? Talking all that Jazz, man. They starting off hot.
They starting off hot. It's a couple of teams. The Jazz, one of them. The Cavs. Who else? There's a couple of teams out there that they're starting out. Portland. They're to me, I think they're playing above their head. I think that around mid-November, they're gonna settle down and come back to earth, and things will balance out. But hey, tip my hat to them. It's wild in the West, man. It's a lot of talent, and just tip my hat to them. It is what it is.
And I would just add, it is fool's gold, because do you think either one, like, even if they made the playoffs, say they both made the playoffs as the one,
they won't win one round.
Exactly. So
yeah,
you need to bottom out. Like, the Jazz got about 2 more weeks of this, and I think they're gonna start selling more guys off.
Wait, I think also too, to Adam Silver's credit, he's really disincentivized tanking, and so I think teams are playing for the win, and let the chips fall where they fall. I think this is the most competitive I've seen the NBA in a long time, where there's not a lot of gimme nights out there. You got to go out there and play. Even the Jazz and Portland and teams like that,
Orlando,
Sacramento, teams like that, you will run into them. You think you got an easy night, and they'll beat you. I mean, I can't like when they really go on these road trips, and the Jazz or teams like that, they're your last game on the road trip, and you tired or whatever. Boy, you don't want to run into a team like that. So,
Well, it's been a while since I think the league expanded too, and being global, you probably get more players in the league. So you might what the rosters across the league are probably filling out better than what they have been in the past.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely are. They definitely are.
All right. Anything else we need to hear from you, league
Oh,
wise?
oh, come on, you already know. I'm already waiting on it.
Well,
Oh,
but before you do that, can we talk about my MVP prediction of John Morant? What do you think about John Morant so far?
oh, he's looking fantastic right now. He's looking absolutely fantastic. He's balling out of control. He's flying high until he's not. I mean, my concern and the reason why I didn't pick him as MVP is because I think that he's an injury waiting to happen. He's in the air a lot. He's on the floor a lot,
Yep.
and eventually that floor gonna win out. So
Correct.
Yeah, there's a
so
long list of guys that we
See,
can say that lost that
see,
battle.
see old
yeah.
boy in New Orleans that hit the ground, though he's a little bit bigger, and now he's out for a while with a thigh contusion or hip
Oh,
It's not a
Zion.
contusion.
it's not a while. It's a day-to-day thing. I'm more so disappointed. I turned the game off when they said Ingram wasn't playing, because even if Zion wasn't playing, the BI was out there. And I think right now the NBA they're really overreacting with the concussion protocol. You know how the NBA deals. Whenever the NFL does something wrong,
Yep.
shout out to Tua. The NBA they over exaggerates in the opposite direction, and they So I mean, we might not see Ingram for another 2-3 games, but they're And I'm like, I just saw Ingram. He looked fine. Like let him play.
Yeah.
He's not gonna get hit in the head again. So but it is what it is. So I mean, national televised game. Pelicans ain't on TV a lot, and it's ruined. TNT, Charles Barkley, Shaq, Kenny in the game, and we can't see Bi. So
Yeah, that's a little disappointing about that. Like I kind of wish that, and I know they don't have a setup like that, but it'd be nice if they could flip games because I'm with you. I would have wanted to see how the Pelicans can compete with their guys out there.
yeah.
So disappointing. Did you pick Memphis to go to the finals, Mr. 411? I forget who your pick was.
I did.
They get Jaren Jackson back. They have a nice team. I don't know if they're built for the playoffs, but if his ass can stay healthy, they have a nice team. Like Desmond Bain, how the hell does Desmond Bain score 38 points? Like he don't even look like a basketball player. He look like a damn football player.
I mean, that Desmond Bain thing ain't gonna happen too often. I mean, he ran to a team that really just don't play defense at all. He was shooting that little set shot all night. And I'm like, anybody gonna put a hand up? they just letting him shoot. So I'm like, But,
And they feel like a team, man. They feel like they get
No,
along, and all this is going to tie into what we ultimately culminate to in this segment. But yeah, they just look like a team, man. Like they're just having a good time out there. They play for one another, have a lot of energy, and of course, it's going to take some other things to help them out as well. Like maybe somebody has to beat Golden State along the way for them to get by. But I think they're going to be in the mix. That's just my personal thoughts there. But hey, can you talk about Zach's Miami Heat? Anything you seeing there?
in all honesty, I haven't seen a Heat game so far this season. I haven't paid them much attention. I'm just tell you how I feel about it. The Heat is just one of those tough teams you don't want to face. They're gonna play you. They're gonna play you tough. They're gonna play tough nose defense. Ultimately, I don't feel like they're a championship contender, but they're gonna be a tough out for anybody. They just one of them blocks in the road that you're gonna have to go through to win it. I mean, and if things shake out right, a couple of injuries here or there, yes, they can make it to the finals, but it would have to be something happen to Tatum, something have to happen to Embiid, something have to happen. It would have to work out for them. So
everybody gets on the Lakers about their bubble championship. Nobody gets on the Heat about their bubble's final appearance. But I'm gonna say it again. Kyle Lowry was a terrible signing for the Heat. Overpriced veteran. You could have done much better than that. But Pat Riley has this thing about overpaying for these dudes. And now, look, I'll flip him for Russell Westbrook today. with no problem. I'd be happy to have Russell Westbrook
Done.
there. I happy because at least he come off the books. Kyle Lowry's terrible.
No, that's true. Kyle Lowry is still on the books. That's the part I forgot about. But as far as the thing about, I think you get a guy like Kyle Lowry really for his leadership, locker room presence. He hits big shots, and in big moments, you'll be thankful you have Kyle Lowry over Westbrook any day. If
now when I'm paying $30 million,
the problem is the problem is getting to those big moments.
Yeah, you got to get there.
But if you get to the big moments, hey, you can't go wrong with Kyle Lowry.
I believe you said it right earlier. Like the Heat, that bubble finals appearance looks more and more fluky every damn game.
That whole bubble fluky. I mean, but
well, I'm gonna go for the Heat. I won't say, but at least with the Lakers, you won the championship. So that
that thing was just as fluky as it wanted to be. But yeah.
As my mama said, you put high class in front of it, always sound good.
Mm-hmm. So both teams made it to the finals that year.
Yeah, but one's champion, one is not. But here we go. Now we ready.
All right, Rod. Here's the schedule, Rod.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first 10 games for the Lakers. And we can go ahead and let the cat in the bag. The Lakers are 0-3. Our Lakers, right? 0-3.
Yep.
And you see there's the Nuggets.
Twice.
And then a couple times got the Wolves, Pelicans, Jazz twice, and the Cavs. So that's the first 10 games right there.
They kind of got screwed on this schedule. Like everybody talk about how easy that schedule's supposed to be. That schedule ain't necessarily all that damn easy.
No, that schedule is tough when you.
But that's the opposite of what they used to get. The Lakers usually get an easier start.
Well, the thing that's being factored in now is teams are playing better than what you expected. Because I mean, I counted the Portland game as a win. I counted the Utah game as a win.
Both of them.
Now those games there are toss-ups. They've already lost to Portland. So I mean, I expect them to lose to Denver tomorrow. So I mean, it ain't looking good for them.
Is it time to trade Anthony Davis?
Yes. I think we should blow up the whole thing at this point. Mainly because looking at Anthony Davis now, he's healthy. I think he could help a team. He just can't help this one. And I think while he's healthy now, you need to showcase him, and trade him and get everything you can get back for him and start your rebuilding process early. Damn LeBron and all his wants and this, that, and the other. Look, it's over with, dude. You played GM long enough. We taking the reins and we're moving this ship towards the next iteration because I think you've gotten all you can get out of this crew. And I think it's a shame when you look at the fact that all this talent around the league that the Lakers had, and had they just simply kept it, the position we would be in right now versus, it's amazing. But I think in order for you to recoup that and save face, I think you need to move these pieces now. But the Lakers brand, they're not going to do it. Their brand is we take care of stars, we stick by the stars, and that's part of the reason why Westbrook isn't gone. Because they're trying their best to do everything they can to show the league that, hey, we really value our stars. If you sign with us, we'll take care of you. So,
well, it seems like Westbrook is taking the brunt of a lot of things in Los Angeles with our Lakers, and I think it's not fair that he's taking all the brunt of things. But what are you seeing, Rod? Because you are a huge Laker fan as well as I, and but you are an analyst. So what are you seeing in LA, man? What are some things that all the players need to be responsible for?
Well, let's lay it out on the table. Okay, Westbrook isn't playing good. Okay, let's be honest there. Okay, on the flip side, me personally, I don't think AD is playing well. Nope. I don't think LeBron is playing well. I don't think that anybody on the team is shooting the ball well. I think that when it comes down to it, Anthony Davis is drifting out back to that 3-point line way too much. LeBron is shooting way too many threes. I think that LeBron needs to again get off the ball, and that I think him getting off the ball more will help Westbrook be more effective. I think they need to run sets for Westbrook in the post. Westbrook can't shoot, but Westbrook has always been tough to guard in the post because he's a big guard. He's an athletic guard. He's stronger than most point guards. So when he posts up a point guard, it's a disadvantage. And now you got Anthony Davis. I would put him at the high post. So now Anthony Davis can knock down that 15-footer, which is his shot, better than a damn three. And then if a double team comes for Westbrook once he gets rolling, now you got AD that can duck into that middle and duck into the basket, and that's an easy bucket for him. And let LeBron, since he says we don't have any lasers, he's this great shooter, put LeBron in that other corner over there and let him be the floor spacer, and let's see if LeBron can knock down some wide open shots since Westbrook is so terrible at it. I don't know.
Mason,
it'd
be interesting shakeup. See how that would go.
What's going to happen with Westbrook? Does he finish the season with the Lakers?
No, he's not going to finish the season. As a Laker fan, I hope he does, because that would mean that we keep our picks. But I think Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, they're gonna fall into the pressure of, I'm not going to say the fan base, I'll say the media. They're going to fall into the pressures of the media. They're going to end up trading one or two of those picks to get Westbrook moved. And we'll get back some mediocre pieces to barely make the playoffs, if at all. And we would have been gave away, our future even more. So we won't have a pick at that point. So you're talking about 27, 29. We won't have a pick till 2030.
Wow.
I mean, do you? I mean, that's the picture you want to pay. That's the price you pay for bringing in LeBron James to be your GM. I'm not even calling the player. When you bring in LeBron to be your GM and take over your franchise, that's what happens. And I just look at Kyle Kuzma. I look at KCP. Those are two guys that can shoot. Those are two guys that can space the floor. We gave them away for Westbrook. I look at Monk. That's another shooter. Didn't re-sign him. I look at guys like Jordan Clarkson. I look at Brandon Ingram. I look at all these guys that we've moved, and if we just simply kept those guys and signed Anthony Davis, which is to 411's point, this team would be a juggernaut right now, probably getting ready to go on a three-peat.
Well, is Jeannie the wrong person to be in charge? Because have they only made the playoffs twice since she's been there?
I don't think it's a Jeannie issue as much as it is they messed up when they let Jerry West get out the door. I think Jerry West should still be on that advisory board. I think she needs someone in that front office that really knows basketball. She tried to do that with Magic. Magic got frustrated and left. But I just think that, because Jeannie is honest. Jeannie's like, I don't know basketball. I know business. So from that standpoint, she's done her job. Lakers make money. Okay. So, but she said, look, I'm not a basketball person. So I'm leaning on you guys to tell me about basketball. And the Kurt Rambises and the Rob Pelinkas and all these guys, they don't know what they're doing from that standpoint. Great. We brought in LeBron. I'm pro LeBron being there. I have no problem with LeBron being in a Laker jersey. What I am against is letting him hijack the franchise and dictate what happens to players. And then when it doesn't work out, then he start demanding that you trade even more assets to make him happy. And it's like, okay, at some point or another, you got to tell LeBron, like, look, this is my team. You play for my team. I'm the boss, and this is what's going to happen. And we're going to put together a team that fits well. And Rob Pelinka has been taking a lot of heat, but I would like to before I fired Rob Pelinka or whatever, I would like to see Rob Pelinka post LeBron. I would like to see how he puts together a team where he doesn't have the pressure of having to get input from your star player, where I'm just doing what I think is right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's the case, you know, but everybody's like, oh, well, why do you sign more shooters? But they weren't available. I want you to tell me a shooter that was available out there that we could just sign outside of Monk. Outside of Monk, which I think we could have re-signed, but it was either you bring back Monk, who's not a good defensive player, or you try to elevate the defense, because we were dead last in defense last year. So that's why Patrick Beverly got the money. So,
and that's where we are this year in defense, 25th.
Yeah. Well, it ain't dead last. It's slightly better.
It's still early, and just say here's hoping Anthony Edwards will be a Laker soon.
Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man.
Oh, hell yeah.
It'll be post LeBron, you know, but
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we're in a position. I think we're just in a position where we gotta wait this thing out, man. We gotta go through the storm, man, and weigh it out. I think you said that before, Rod, that we're kind of in it, and so we gotta just deal with it.
Yeah, we gotta wait it out. We gotta deal with it. I mean, Jeannie, like I say, she's a businesswoman, so she definitely gonna milk this LeBron passing Kareem and Magic. She's gonna milk that for all it's worth in terms of revenue and getting the dollars. And right now, I just see this as a money grab season. It's a money grab season. They're gonna make as much money as they can off LeBron, and but the Lakers aren't playing for a championship. You should when you got 3 top 75 players, but we just aren't. And Westbrook, he's I don't feel bad for Westbrook in terms of the criticism of his play. I feel bad for Westbrook in terms of the level of criticism of his play. I think it's going to a point of I feel like they're trying to run him out the league, and that's what I'm not liking. That I'm seeing in the media, that I'm seeing from just so many people involved, man. It's just it's not good.
Well, yeah, and the way I see it too, man, I don't think he's being utilized to his strengths. And as you know, everywhere he's been, even up to last season, pretty much flirting with triple doubles. And so he can
and they're going to the playoffs.
Right, and they make the postseason. And that should not be overlooked, is that and they don't mention that too much on some of the other networks, but remember the year that Kevin Durant left, Westbrook took a team post Kevin Durant and had them, like in the 5-6 range. And so if he can do that in OKC, you know what I'm saying, he's valuable. It's just you have to utilize your sources the way that what you have and play players to their strengths. And it's like asking me to go out there and dunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then get mad because I don't dunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. Now, I mean, and this is the part I fought Westbrook on. He if he was smart, he would have embraced coming off the bench. I think that would have saved his career. Because I at this point, the way that they're going, Westbrook might not be in the league next year. I know Kendrick Perkins said that, but I agree with him. And I think he should have embraced coming off the bench, because that would have removed the excuses that we hear for LeBron James and all that stuff. There, it's like, okay, dude, it's you and AD out there. Westbrook's coming off the bench. He doesn't play with you guys as much, so you should be winning. And then I would love to see that. I would love to see the bench plus minus versus the starters plus minus, and let's really see, who's doing what on the floor.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, Rod, we appreciate you being on for the NBA segment. And you're definitely going to be back again.
Most definitely.
All right. We appreciate Rod. Tom Brady. He said there's no retirement in his future, Zach.
Okay.
All right. And Tom Brady also had some things to say in a podcast of his with, and he had Kevin Durant on as a guest. And, the comments heard around the world and about Tom Brady and the things he said about comparing the NFL to being in the military. So what we're going to do right quick, Zach, we have about 10 minutes to go. We're going to play a couple of audio segments of the conversation, and then we'll get your comments to close us out for today, man.
Year in and year out, and are you competing for that? And I think that's just a different level of sacrifice in terms of commitment, off season, keeping your body the way it needs to feel. And I think one thing about KD is I always admire him for his ability to focus on the court, because nothing gets in the way of what he's trying to accomplish. And everyone knows how competitive he is because it's his personality. That's why everyone wants him on the team, because he's always going to elevate the other players. So it's just an amazing trait.
See, it gets starting to get tricky though as I get older in age, because I'm starting to experience more as a man outside of me being an athlete. So it's like, where's the balance? Like, should I still be this, like, I'm always gonna be hungry, but should I still be this, like, every day just immersed in what I'm doing, or should I continue to keep growing on that side? So it's just like I want to keep the balance of like work and play, but at the same time, I mean, I'm just so excited to.
Okay, so they're basically talking about work and balance. The first verse you heard was Tom Brady, followed by Kevin Durant. And now here's more of Tom Brady.
It's definitely been, a mental obstacle is trying to figure out what's the good balance between the two.
Jim, can I say something about that? Because it's a good point. And, and you feel, certainly me being 45 now, it's like, I just think the same way. I almost look at like a football season like you're going away on deployment in the military.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, here I go again. And there's only one way to do it. And I think, Jim, we've talked from time to time just about how do you enjoy the certain moments of it, And the reality is you can really only be authentic to yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever you may say, oh, man, I want to, make sure I spend a little more time doing this, during the season.
Yeah.
The reality is when it comes down to it, your competitiveness takes over. And as much as you want to have this playful balance with the work balance, you're going to end up doing exactly what you've always done, which is why you are who you are. You're going to go, how the do I get it done? What do I got to do?
All right, Zach. Fire away, Zach.
Well, I just, Tom Brady is human, just like Kevin Durant is human. And all you got to do is look at all of us. I think we all don't appreciate what we have in life enough for those of us that actually have stuff that we can appreciate. So think about it. A lot of times you'll get athletes, and what do they say? They're professional athletes. I think Draymond with this and said it's like being a slave or being on a plantation. When, come on, man, you're making millions and millions of dollars. It ain't nothing like being on a slave or a plant or being on a plantation. And with Tom Brady, think about it. And I don't know his background growing up or whatever, but I'm going to guess he didn't grow up on the streets. I would assume he ain't had to look for too many meals or anything like that. So he's had probably a pretty good life. No, he went to the University of Michigan, was an on again, off again starting quarterback. Even though, look, here's the thing. Everybody tries to make his plight out so bad. He was drafted into the NFL. So it ain't like he was an undrafted free agent or anything like that. He was drafted to the NFL and was on the NFL team roster. Now, he went from that to being where he is now. So in his mind, what he's going through with his family, that he has to leave his family based off on a choice he made to keep playing football and to go play for this team that's away from his family. It's like a military deployment. He didn't have anything else to compare it to. It'd be no different than you and I talking about, childbirth ain't that hard, when you and I ain't ever going to know what it's like, to have a child, or we're not going to know what it's like to have a menstrual cycle. So we can't say if it's bad or if it's not bad. And that's where he was going with. So I'm not going to begrudge him too much. I just think all of these athletes, they, we make choices in life. I think what they tend to forget too is you and I and other people out there. It's a lot of people that get up and work hard, and they have to make choices about if they're, that dictate if they're going to be away from their family, with their family, whatever they're doing to pay bills or what have you. Tom Brady should kind of reflect and be thankful that he's made enough money that if he did want to step away and spend more time with the family, he could do that. So this is really, however it is, it's a him choice. He needs to kind of own it. And if it's that difficult, don't do it anymore. But it sounds like, look, I feel like the Maya Angelou thing of, when people show you who they are, believe them. I think Tom Brady's about done playing football now, because this doesn't, if you look at his track record, a lot of stuff that's going on with him, it doesn't seem like this is stuff that he has done in the past or whatever. And just kind of like this family thing seems like it's much bigger than what it's been, or maybe it's just become more prominent. But he sounds like a guy that might be out the door soon, instead of a guy. I think you start off by saying he doesn't want to retire, but he don't sound like a guy that don't want to retire.
Yeah, it's a complicated little situation. I'm glad you was able to make your statement there, especially about the part about the deployment piece of it, because that's the part that, like, wow, people hear that and then they just went off the rails with it. But as I dig deeper into it, I think it's more of a tussle right now between, do I continue with this, something I've done all my life, or do I end it? And that's where, and they mentioned the word competitive, that competitive fire, and all that is all mixed in. And he's trying to figure out which way to go, how to pivot this thing. Do you ride it out, or do you figure out a way to end it? And so I think that's where he's at right now, wrestling with that battle. But man, great comment, Zach.
Just one thing to add, probably what it really is, the wife is probably giving him more heartache than she's given him before, because he probably gave her a timeline and he'd be done playing football. And I think just like I spoke about the rules earlier, he probably didn't think that he'd be able to play football at this age, but the rules have made it so you don't get those devastating injuries like we know with, like, say, with a Joe Theismann or whatever. But also think about the quarterback play, especially in the NFC. Who's the good quarterbacks in the NFC that he's probably saying, well, damn, I can beat those guys in the playoffs. So he probably backed out on it. And we both have been married. We both have been in relationships outside of marriage. You tell a woman something and then you go reneging. Good luck.
It's tough. But yeah, man. So we'll see what how this all pans out. But for now, Tom Brady's still playing. And he's fortunate that he's in the NFC South.
Yes, he is.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for today, Zach. We got a lot done. Thank everybody for watching and listening. Continue to hit the like button, to subscribe, hit that notification, because we have a lot coming up after the game. We have crossing the lines. We got a lot of stuff coming up. And stay tuned, because in a couple months, you're going to hear from the Sports Messiah. So get ready for that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, he's Zach. I'm Mr. 4-1. As you all know, we are the Sports Brothers. So tune in for Sports Brothers next Tuesday. Have a good one.
Take care. Thank you, everyone.